Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of So Get This. And tonight we have some very special guests. We have the Winchester Bros. We are very excited, and hopefully they will be joining us very shortly. And the only thing I can think of is I might have sent them. Oh, wait. We see someone else coming on. Hey, Vinny.
Hey.
Vinny is here.
Hi.
So wait, did Susan and Becky click the wrong link then?
Oh, okay.
Maybe because they said they were waiting for us.
Oh, they may have clicked on the wrong one. Did they click on the one that was in the email I sent this afternoon?
She says she is. Let me see.
Hmm.
We don't see you.
Okay. They'll be joining us shortly. Everybody, say hi to Vinny, one of the admins of Winchester Bros and one of the hosts of SPN Radio.
Hi, everyone.
Hey! While we're waiting for Becky and for Susan, we are going to have some shout outs. Usually I give a shout out to Winchester Bros, but you're going to be shout you out, baby. A shout out goes out to Chicky and Bean, also known as Shannon and Anna Marie, and to my favorite 8th grader, Alfredo Lopez, and Carrie out there, and Neil is out there, and everybody else who's joining us, whether you're a first-time viewer or you've been following since the beginning, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going to be interviewing the Winchester Bros. We have Vinny in our graces at the moment. So if anybody has any questions regarding Winchester Bros, get ready. Throw them in our chat window so that I can relay the info. And the sniffling little lady over here is Raven, my daughter, who's decided to become attached to my shoulder. So if it looks like I've sprouted an extra head, I kind of have. So Alex,
for being a fidgety person because I adjust a lot. So sorry if I make you a little bit dizzy or something, but yes, I move a lot.
That's fine. That's fine. Alexandra Parsons is saying, "Hey, Vinny." Raven, back up, baby. Okay. Okay. So, have you heard back from Becky and Susan?
She said they both said that they clicked the email that said it was for today, and they don't see it.
Oh, that is so weird. That is really weird. All right, I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna email them again. Yeah, I see. All right, so let me send them this link one more time.
Hi, Carrie.
Okay, so let me just jump over to Gmail.
I'll let them know that you're resending the link.
Yes. Okay, so Becky. And Susan. Is Susan the city email or the Bruce email?
She's Bruce. I'm City.
Okay.
What's bruising?
Raven, stop it. Okie dokie. Try this.
I'm also drinking my dinner, everyone. Sorry.
Hey, you're cool. Okay. All right, so I just resent that to them through email, so hopefully they can click on that and it'll bring them right over to us. And thanks for all the viewers being patient while we work this out. You know me, I'm a tech, whatever you want to call it. I am not tech savvy in the slightest, and yet I have a live stream show. Go figure that one.
I say techno Amish. I've always said that.
I love that. I remember when you were saying that last time, I'm like, I gotta use that line. That's awesome.
I'm quite techno Amish, so. And I figure, if you're Amish and that offended you, I'm sorry, but technically, if you're Amish, you shouldn't be watching this right now. So
exactly.
It's a mixed bag on that one.
Yeah, exactly. So, if you're on that Amish reality show, that's just an oxymoron too.
I don't understand that. I don't understand how that works.
I don't either. Like, how did they even find those people?
No, my mother watches the one with Vanilla Ice, the home improvement one where
Really?
she loves that show. She thinks it's hilarious. Like she really likes that show. But it's like he goes and he helps out Amish, like in an Amish community, like redo houses.
Wow. Well, that's a direction his career was obviously taking.
Yeah. You saw that coming a mile away. But he's
absolutely Ice Baby Amish. Yeah. I mean, there's a clear connection there that we obviously.
Your viewers are probably like, what? But like he really does, like he gets up when the rooster crows and like he's not like rude about it at all. Like you would think that there'd be like a disconnect there. Nope. He totally embraces it. It's really cool, actually.
I'm actually impressed. Wow. Oh, Alexandra posted a comment that my daughter looks like me. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate it. And I see someone else coming in. Who could this be?
I see Susan's icon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool icon.
Click the new link, and she's the only one there. Wow. Okay. Can see Susan's icon, which okay.
Hi, Susan. Can you hear us? I can't hear you. I don't know. Vinny, can you hear Susan?
No.
Okay. So I think your mic is off, possibly.
Letting her know. We promised people. We did a test run yesterday and everything worked. We promise.
we were testing for an hour yesterday to make sure that this would go smoothly, and you know,
it was perfect.
Law prevails.
Of course.
That's how it works. Welcome to Live Anything. Live Anything is how it goes.
Okay, now Susan is. I don't know what that is. The Louvre. I don't know what her icon is.
I'm trying to figure that out myself. It looks like it's like a European city kind of thing, but I could be totally off. It's pretty. It's gone now. Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully Becky will be back, be here as well. Again, thanks all for the being patient, guys. Like we said, this stuff happens. And it's kind of difficult. I think the more people that we have on at once, I think that makes it a little trickier to get everybody on at the same time, but we're working on it. In the meantime, Wano and I talk about some other things we got going on, and then when we have everybody together, we will launch into our interview. We are turning the tables on the Winchester Bros. They're in the hot seat tonight. All right.
And we're nervous. We're usually the question askers. So
yeah.
As put together as we might try to look, trust me, we're not. And we are really, really dorky girls. Trust us.
They're lovely. They're absolutely lovely ladies. And I had the pleasure of spending an hour with them last night. And I'm very, very happy and honored that they're here with us. And I'm not doing a Dr. Evil.
No. Shortly before you asked us to do this, Becky and I were joking around how, like, no one ever interviews us. That'd be weird. That would be odd. Like, how would we handle that? And then all of a sudden we're like, well, I guess we have that answer.
Yeah. So, and just think of all the empathy you'll have now for your future guests.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know that it's being the question asker is a lot of pressure too. You know that.
Yeah, that I know. But being asked the questions, that's a whole other trick too.
Yeah, I mean, you prep. Okay, hold on.
Especially when you're not expecting them.
I don't think they're clicking the right link because you have your chat right now going, right? You can see that and everything.
Yeah, I can see my chat window fine in Instacator. So they should be in Google Hangouts.
That I know.
Oh, there's. Oh, here's
How did I
Susan.
do that? Hey.
Okay, so Susan is here.
And Becky's saying the link's not working, and
Especially when you're not expecting them.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
yes, we can hear you now. All right, let me.
Your chat right now is going right. You can see that and everything.
Yeah,
Right.
I think in my chat window find an indicator. So they should.
Oh, now I'm hearing an echo. So if you guys, Susan, if you have your volume on the Instacator page, you need to mute that. Otherwise, you're going to hear.
I just did. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Yes, you're.
Okay.
Now, do you see Becky, Susan?
What?
Do you see Becky?
No, and I'm not even sure how I got here. I just went back into my Google Hangout app on my phone and happened to see something there with Jody and Vinny, and I said, I'm just going to tap it and see if it works. And then I tapped the video icon, and there I was. Like, I'm afraid to mess with it. So.
Okay, so I'm telling Becky to do that too, to try to go to the app and just click on what she sees there and seeing if that will pull her in.
Whatever link you sent today, I'm really sorry. They did not work.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I don't understand why that didn't work. Raven, you need to sit down.
Maybe because I clicked from my computer and you all are trying to click from the app, but it.
No, I had issues when Sam Smith was trying to connect with her phone. She had a lot of problems. But it worked last night, though.
Yeah, it was perfect last night, so.
So I'm not sure.
And for anyone super curious, it is a pineapple banana smoothie. That is my dinner.
Smoothie.
Actually, I do like legit, like it's got flaxseed and chia seed and protein powder and no sweeteners, nothing weird.
Oh, she's calling in, but it's coming in through my phone and not through.
Me too. I'm going to answer it.
Hey, Raven, sit down. Let me see what happens if I answer it. We lost Susan?
Yes.
Oh, no. Okay. Let's see. Oh, now you came inside.
Okay. Says it's a missed
I'm back.
call.
I tried to answer Becky, but it took me.
Becky?
Is it working?
Well, I have you on my phone, but not on the computer. So I'd have to hold you like this in order. Raven, you need to sit down. So I'd have to hold you like this in order for everybody to see you.
I'm wondering how you
Becky,
got it last night just fine.
I did what Susan said and went in through the app.
You
And this
did.
is the only option I had.
Did you tap the little video icon? Because that's what took me in.
Yep.
Yeah, make sure that you have, like, on the top row it says favorite, voice, invite, video. And video should be the green one.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I did. Let me try it again.
Okay, let's see what happened. The plot thickens.
Hmm? What did you say?
Raven, you need to sit down.
What were you saying?
Okay, now it's coming through my phone again. I'm wondering, hold on, is there a way I could patch her in this way?
How did you do the link last night? Because however you did that link was perfect.
That's exactly what I did this time too.
This
It was
is
the
very
exact.
strange.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it didn't work the same way. So I don't know. Oh well.
Wait.
I don't know what to do.
Let's see, settings.
Oh, I thought that would
Try
be.
this way.
When she calls in, it also, in my Gmail tab, it gives me the option to answer her there.
Let me see. I'm trying to enter directly. How do I contact? No, wait 1 second. I'll do this. Raven, you need to sit down. Okay. Go. And, okay. Let me see. Guys, thank you so much.
Can you hear me in real time?
Yes.
Yes, there's going to be a delay on the Insticator side, so there's like I'm not sure how long the delay is. I think it's like 10 or 15 seconds or so.
Okay. I can see both, and it's weirding me out. Present and then past.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of...
Now I know. I just won't look at it. I'm fine.
Okay. I'm trying to do this and invite. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if that worked. I sent her an invite directly from here.
Okay.
And I'll see if that works. I tried doing that when I interviewed Brianna Buckmaster, and it wasn't working for her. That's why I didn't do that with you guys, because I just figured it wasn't going to work.
And I had trouble adding Becky for some reason to just a regular chat the other day. I had to start a brand new chat. I don't know why. I've never had that problem again.
Now she said that when she clicks on the link that's in the email, no one is there.
But she's in that chat saying it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I think... Yeah, she's in the wrong one. She's in the one from yesterday.
Oh, okay. Okay. Are you in the one from yesterday?
I can tell that she is because I have both of those windows open, and the three of us are in one, and she's in another.
Oh, so, okay, so she didn't click on the link that I just sent her.
Oh, there she is.
Becky!
There she
Hey!
is.
Hi!
Hey!
Yeah. You were in the one from yesterday.
Support. Now I can't get my keyboard down off my screen so I can see.
There you are. Yay.
I didn't
All
notice.
right.
I went to the chat windows. You were in yesterday's somehow.
That's what
You
the
were
link
in a
is taking me to.
framework.
The link in the email that that's where it was taking me to.
That's weird because it took me to this one. But remember when I was saying that I was trying to add you to a chat the other day and I couldn't add you?
Uh-huh.
I had to make a brand new chat. So obviously your Gmail's defective. I'm just going to put that out there. It's you.
I'm just so psyched now we're all here. Introducing Winchester Bros. All right. So guys out there, get your questions ready. Type them into the chat window so we can grill them. Grill them. So you guys are the pioneers of everything online. I mean, you guys were online with Supernatural when the show was in its infancy. You had the website up in 2005 before the show was even aired. I mean, how cool is that? And then you have a podcast that was born in 2007. What was it about Supernatural that you felt so strongly about, that resonated with you guys, that took you in this direction?
Susan should answer. She's been with us the longest, so.
We'll go chronological.
Yikes. Well,
No pressure.
The member of Winchester Bros that's not here started the website in 2005 when she saw the pilot at Comic-Con in 2005. So that was pretty amazing. I have to be honest, I could not watch Supernatural until the second season because my area didn't have a WB, which is the channel Supernatural was on at the time. It didn't have an affiliate, so I couldn't even watch it. But I had another friend that was not the founding member, but someone else who was involved with the site and loved the show and kept trying to get me to watch it. And I said, hang on, I'm trying. I finally saw it in season 2, and I watched a few episodes and I liked it, but the first episode that hooked me forever was Heart. And it was the end, and it, instead of just, for me at the time, just being a fun spooky show about, you know, brothers who hunt, it was the family, the emotions, the brothers' relationship, all of those things. And it's what keeps me with the show today. I mean, it started in 2007, and 2015, it's Sam and Dean, and I know the show is much more than that, but they are the foundation of the show, and everything else is built around them. And for me, if they go, so goes the show, and so goes me. So, but anyway, in the fall of 2007, this friend, Winchester Radio used to be under the umbrella of MediaBoulevard.com, which had fan forums, and they also did interviews and publicity for many other shows besides Supernatural. And they actually came to her and said, would you like to do a podcast? And it was her and another friend of hers. Her friend got a job, and she said, would you be our third, be our substitute when she has to work? Well, she got a job where she always worked when the podcast was on, and I just stayed. And when we first started for Blog Talk Radio, I said, well, you know, we're just getting started with them, and you are low man on the totem pole when you start with Blog Talk Radio. And the only time we could do it was Sunday morning, which is a very strange time for a Supernatural podcast. Started Sunday morning, and she said, at least, I said, how will we know if we're doing okay? And she said, well, I think they need at least 50 people to listen to let you stay on another week. I'm like, well, okay. And we were so excited when we finally got more than 50, like we got more than 50 listeners that first week. And it just kept going from there. And here we are, 2015, 8 years and 8 seasons later. And I remember the early days, and I know Becky, who started with the show like day one, being terrified at the end of every season if we were going to come back or not. So.
Yeah, I started watching it when the show first started. You know, September 13th, 2005. Boom, I was there. All the commercials said, you know, watch with your lights off, you know, and everything. So I did. I turned on my lights off and watched it. And as soon as they started playing AC/DC, I knew I was hooked, because no other show on TV played AC/DC, and that was my music. And yeah, I you know, it was Sam and Dean, you know, and that's what got me, you know, from the first episode, and been here ever since. And I joined the podcast 4th season as a substitute, kind of like how Susan was brought in. I was brought in as a substitute whenever one of the other members was working, and then finally that person got a permanent job, so I became a permanent member.
Full time.
And then from that, we decided we'd like to have a Facebook and a Twitter, so I created the Facebook and the Twitter. And then the person who did all the website work, she decided she couldn't do that anymore, who updated all the news on the website. So I started doing that, and here we are. And then Vinny.
I started watching the show. I actually was not going to watch the show. I was one of those people that was super bitter about Angel getting canceled off the WB. And their whole thing was that they were rebranding and they didn't want to do the genre stuff anymore, so they canceled Angel, and then here came Supernatural, and I was really bitter about it. And at the time, I was like, no, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. And I had a friend from Buffy Fandom, Jordan, and she was like, you have to watch it. You'll like it. You'll like it. You'll like it. No. And I kept telling her, I'm watching Grey's Anatomy. I'm not dealing with this show. So I ended up going to visit a friend in Oklahoma, one of my best friends, SOOO, and Jordan knew that I was going, and SOOO was doing the same thing where she was refusing to watch Supernatural for the same reasons. Well, unbeknownst to us, Jordan overnighted season 1 burned to us. And by this time, it's about almost midway through season 2's real airing. So we were like, oh, fine, you know, I'm here. We'll watch it and we'll make fun of it. That's what we'll do. And we put in the first disc, and that was it. I came home from Oklahoma. I bought season 1. I finished catching up with it, and then
me too.
Anybody who's a federal agent and listening, I absolutely did not find pirate episodes to catch up in season 2. Nope, wasn't me.
Of course not.
No. So I caught up, and I watched the show. My mother and I watched the show every week, and I had nobody really to talk about with it, and I got one of my friends who lives in town. I got her into it, but it does scare her. But I really had nobody, and so I went to the very first con in 2007, and my friends Sue and I kept to ourselves.
And by the way, all 3 of us were at that convention in 2007, but we didn't know each other at the time.
Right.
That is so crazy.
Well, and the funny thing is, you know, I was kind of jokingly like, oh, look, they're going to do a convention for this show. Like, okay, whatever. And then that con actually was supposed to be like this sort of multi-fandom con, and they signed on Nick Brendan from Buffy, and he's, you know, Xander's my favorite character, so I was like, oh, well, and Sue's as well, so that's actually what cemented us going to the first convention.
Mm-hmm.
And we went, and we did kind of keep to ourselves. We didn't know anybody in fandom, really, and season 3 was just, I think it was, what, maybe 3 episodes into season 3 at this point.
Yeah.
And we kept to ourselves, and then, you know, came back, and I didn't go to another con for, 2 years, I think? And I ended up going to a con in LA that another friend was supposed to go to with me, and at the last minute she had an issue and she couldn't come, so I sort of went alone, but by this time I knew a few people, and I was sitting in a chair by myself, waiting for somebody else, and Becky walked past, and I was like, you're Becky, I know who you are. And I pulled her over and started talking to her, and we just kind of clicked. So that's how I met Becky, and there was another girl that was helping doing the website, and she got really busy with school and stuff, and so I just kind of offered, I was like, if you need me, let me know. And before I knew it, I was actually doing stuff.
Awesome. See, this is a prime example, and I've mentioned this many times on my show and on Twitter too, how, you know, this show has forged amazing relationships. You know, I mean, my best friend, Shannon, who's the proprietor of Chicky and Bean, you know, she and I met at a con in New Jersey several years ago. I mean, and we would never have met had it not been for the show. I mean, there are so many people. There are people that I meet at conventions who are dating because of the show, or they're now married because of the show, or, you know, they have long-lasting, authentic friendships that they could not have had it not been for Supernatural. And this is just a prime example of how special the show really is.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my next question for you ladies. Now, you each have very distinct personalities. How do you work together so well? You know, how do you handle Discord? Because, I mean, last night we were having a very interesting discussion about, you know, one of you doesn't like one of the characters on the show, but the other 2 do. So how do you handle disagreements in Discord like that and still maintain not only, you know, a professional relationship, but your friendship, of course, as well?
I think what it comes down to is we're all adults, and we know that you can have differing opinions and, you know, still like each other. And, you know, just because, you know, somebody doesn't like, you know, the same thing I do doesn't mean that's a bad person. So, yeah, you know, Vinny and I rarely agree on anything supernatural, anything, not just Supernatural, but anything. Yet she is one of my dearest friends in the world, and she's the closest thing I have to a sister, and I just love her to death. But we rarely agree on anything, and it's because I love her and respect her and think her opinion is as valid as mine, even though they might not be the same.
And I think, yeah, I agree. And we were talking about this earlier, actually, where it becomes one of those things where it is a respect, you know. We joke, like if you listen to our podcast, we're very jokey about it, where one of us will say whenever we have something and be like, well, like, you're wrong, but that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ongoing joke with us, but the fact is that we realize that because we are different people, we're going to identify with situations and characters in a different way, or, you know, for whatever reason it may be. And it's okay, because at the end of the day, especially doing the website, it's the show itself and the community that matters, not which one of us has a favorite character or a character that we don't like, or, you know, a portrayal of something we don't like, a director we don't like, a writer we don't like, because, you know, that's what you do. When you go to school and you take a class, the whole point is, you know, you're not going to sit there and read, you know, Jane Eyre and everybody either agree to like it or agree to hate it. It's not how it works. And so I always think of our podcast as very much the idea of a college lecture. Just there's only 3 of us,
Mm-hmm.
but it's that same idea of doing a college project or something where you're not there to be yes men to each other. You're there to discuss how it affects you.
Right. And if we all agreed all the time, our podcast would be very boring and very short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think-
And every week we can agree with different things. There'll be an episode that bores Becky to death, and Vinny and I will like it, you know, or Vinny will hate it, and Becky and I will, no, it's great, and you're wrong. You know, and it's okay. But it's a lot.
We forgive you. You're wrong.
Yeah.
And I think it also boils down to an honesty thing. We never say anything to each other or on the podcast that we wouldn't say to a writer, director, or actor to their face. We're very honest and genuine. So on the podcast, whatever we say, we also have to realize that we're standing by that statement that's never going to go away. Those podcasts are saved on the internet till the internet burns down in, you know, a million years. So we have to stand by what we say. We have to be honest, and if we're not honest with ourselves and with each other, then, you know, we're letting down the people who do listen to us or do follow our site.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think the fact that we all have differing opinions makes the podcast more interesting. Because like Susan said, you know, if we all agreed, it'd be very boring. So with different ideas, different opinions, we come in with different things, and that makes the discussion even more interesting, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I mean, each of you is so unique and different. You all come from your own different experiences, and you bring your own unique insights into what you talk about in your podcast. And I think that just makes it more authentic and more relatable to your audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also we're very aware that an actor is not their character. So it's like we don't want anyone to take it personally if we're not liking a character or not liking something that they're doing. And you can love Sam or love Dean or love Cass or whoever, but not like the way they're acting at the time. You may not like a decision they make. It's like anybody else, you know, your family member, your friends, you love them, but you may not agree with what they're doing or what they're saying or anything like that. So it's the same thing on Supernatural. And also writers and directors, anybody involved in the creative end of it, it's not personal. It's about the work and whether or not I like a directing decision you made or words you chose. It's not about you. My day job has to do. I work for an artist, and then he had a gallery for years, and I worked for a gallery. And I can love an artist's work, but they can be a horrible person, and it can be the other way around. It could be my gosh, I wish this person's work was better because they're such a nice person, but their work is horrible, and they should not be doing it. And you know, so that's what it is. Just have to separate it, you know. And sometimes, you know, it's a little bit hard for some people, I know, but
It is. I mean, and also just making the distinction also that, you know, Misha is not Castiel and Jensen is not Dean and Jared is not Sam. It's
Right.
those are characters played by those actors, and I think some people do have difficulty making that separation. And that's something that carries through like any fandom. I mean, who doesn't remember, you know, William Shatner on Saturday Night Live saying, "Get alive!"
And I think that shows like Supernatural, and now that Supernatural has kind of opened up the convention aspect to, it used to just be, you know, shows that or movies that had gone off the air and the actors no longer knew what to do with themselves. And now Supernatural, Jared and Jensen and now all the, you know, everybody else, but they had to start it. It's become a more, I hesitate to call it mainstream or acceptable because that makes it feel like it wasn't prior, but it's become a more common thing. So now you have Twilight and you have Vampire Diaries and you have Teen Wolf, all these shows that are still on Doctor Who, and the current cast of Doctor Who, not, you know, the fourth Doctor.
Right.
So you have that aspect now, and I think that helps within our fandom to distinguish, this is Misha, this is Cass, this is Jared, this is Jensen, this is Sam, names, whatever, those people. Because we get to go to cons, or even people who haven't been to cons, you know, you can not, you know, Creation does not condone the videoing of panels.
And we never do that, ever.
But, you know, if you were to come across one, because YouTube is weird and might recommend you something, I don't know your life, you know, we have the advantage of seeing how these people act as themselves versus their character and see how vastly different they are.
Yeah.
And, again, I can be really upset with a choice that Cass, Sam, or Dean make, but that has nothing to do with Misha, Jared, or Jensen.
Very cool.
And vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a question from one of our viewers, Neela. Neela is asking, how do you not geek out when interviewing the cast? I would need like a warm-up conversation to get the butterflies away.
We actually do kind of have a warm-up conversation.
Right.
We ask them to call in 5-10 minutes before the podcast starts. Sometimes they're not able to, but most of the time they are. So we can, you know, get all that out of our system. You know, we introduce ourselves to them. You know, tell them how the podcast is going to work. Ask them if they have any questions, and it's during that 5 to 10 minutes, you know, where we have a little free time, you know, that we're able to kind of talk and get everything, you know, squared away.
Awesome. So,
we do geek out with them, you know. Tell them we loved what you did and this and this and this, and you know, we've had Felicia Day on, and I was like, Becky and I were like, everybody else was like, Dr. Horrible, and I was like, ooh, and then you did this really random thing with the guys on YouTube that do the food thing, and now I can't think of what they are. Epic Mealtime. She did this like random thing with Epic Mealtime, and she was like, you watched that? So we do have these geek out moments. And there are, you know, it's odd because you would think that there'd be some that we would geek out more than others. But it's kind of an equal level geek out across the board, no matter who it is. And
I disagree, huh?
You're wrong. It's okay.
She's not wrong, and she's not wrong. And I the only thing I said, maybe the one interview that was possibly a little freaky for all of us, it was Jensen, because it was Jensen.
Because
everybody else, pretty much across the board, it's like we geek out a little bit nervous, but if we talk a little bit, and all our guests that come on, they seem to want to be on, and they have a good time, and they ask us questions too. Like, we've been the first podcast for a few of the actors. So like, how do we do this? What's going on? So, but yeah, Jensen was wow. That was the
Well,
one for he had first.
It was his first podcast as well.
That's
He'd
right.
never done anything like
Yes.
that before.
Yeah.
And he was great. He did us a favor to us, and we didn't expect him to say yes. And so just him saying yes did throw us off a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, oh, you mean like in reality we're going to have to come up with questions for you? This isn't just us, thinking in our head that
you like speak to him.
And so, and I don't want to say I don't feel like that was a geek out so much as that was a
nervous wreck
pressure, stress.
It was stressful.
Yeah, that was like, I mean, we do ours and it's not video, and I was like, does my hair look okay?
I know.
We didn't expect to stay on longer than, say, 20 minutes, and he stayed on for like an hour.
Yeah.
And so we were like, oh, we don't have as many questions.
Yeah, we went through all of our backup questions. Like, we had backup questions, but we expected to get through maybe like 3 or 4 questions. So we had a list of 15, and we got through all 15, and it had been a little over an hour, and so we kind of ended up going, so thanks for calling, Jensen. Goodbye.
That's okay. I think by then he was pretty ready. He'd made his bed and tidied the apartment. And driven off to work.
Oh, wow.
So, it wasn't so much geeking out with that one because we've all met him multiple times, going to cons for so long. But that one was a lot of pressure. Not just being the first podcast that he had done, but also hoping that it was something that went well enough to release as a podcast for Fandom to listen to. So yeah, that one probably had the most pressure.
I will say the one that I personally most geeked out on was our recent one with Tim Amundsen. And
yes.
Psych is one of my, oh my God, I love Psych. It's like one of my favorite shows. It's my show that I go to that makes me happy. It's not dark, depressing, doesn't make you sad and cry. It's just my happy place. And so in Vegas, we were able to talk to him and record an interview with him. And, Psych had ended last year, so I got to talk to him about the finale. And I'm sitting there with him, with Detective Carlton Lassiter from Psych, and talking about the finale of the episode with, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And that was probably my biggest geek out moment, was that one.
The funny thing about that one is, he's sitting there eating his breakfast, we're talking to him, and she asks this question, and he stops eating. And I'm a season behind on Psych. It's one of those things where, you can't let something go, so you just push to the side. So I figure if I don't watch the last season, it's not really over. So they're talking about it, and they both got misty-eyed, and it was so strange for me. The actor is so blasé about things and so unaffected, and you could tell with him how affected he was with Psych and how affected he is with Supernatural, having only done 2 episodes. One of the universal things we get on our podcast, and I mean, anytime you hear anybody talk to any actor or actress from Supernatural, you're gonna get Jared and Jensen they're just the greatest to work with. Jared and Jensen, there's no other like them. Nobody welcomes you onto a set the way Jared and Jensen do. And Tim Amundsen was the same way, So But yeah, she totally. We both geeked out, but she almost cried.
And it sounds like you made him almost cry too. Wow, that's incredible. That's such an amazing.
Trying to hold herself together. And yeah.
What would you say is your favorite interview to date? Do you have a favorite interview to date?
Somebody else go first.
Favorite? Oh, I honestly don't know if I could. Okay, I'll say the very, very first interview on Winchester Radio, and it it kind of got the ball rolling for all the interviews that came after, and it was the producer, the writer, and the director of 10-Inch Hero.
Oh,
And yes, and it was a long time ago. The movie hadn't come out yet. It was about to, but it hadn't come out yet. And it wasn't me. It was the other person who'd started the podcast at the time. And she's like, it was basically, what the hell? I think I'll email them and see if they want to come on. And of course, 10-Inch Hero was a little movie, and every bit of publicity and support it could get was great. And they talked on our podcast for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Yeah, it was a lot, and it was wonderful. They told stories, of course, about Jensen and Daniil and all the other actors and the music and everything on there, and it was really wonderful. And it was a little bit nerve-wracking. It was like, holy cow, we're not just discussing an episode. These are everyone with 10-Inch Hero.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great, and it just got it started, and that's when we started, like, okay, they accepted it, and we could say, well, we just interviewed the 10-Inch Hero people, wouldn't you like to come on too? And they'd be like, oh, because you just need one to get you started. And that was it from there. Now, most of the grand bulk of our interviews, and all current in the show and cast and crew and everything, came later, and with Becky, and then a little bit later Vinny too. So that was really when we got going with a lot more interviews. But I'll just say, because it was the start way back when, much more current. And it's always Becky does a great job of contacting them, and when she started with the Facebook and the Twitter, I think it really got, Winchester Bros was going good, but it was really fantastic when she took hold of the reins of Facebook and Twitter and got everything going. I have to say that. And where was I going with that? I was just about all the interviews, and we got rolling with that. And again, it was, well, we just interviewed this one. Wouldn't you like to come on? And they were like, oh, you're going to talk to them? Okay. And they could tell each other that, oh, it's okay to go on the Winchester radio. And it's gone from there. And we're always, I mean, it's been years now, but we're still excited and surprised and grateful, when someone comes on. It's not old hat just yet. So.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I know what you mean about, having that one interview that kind of is the spark for everything to kind of start falling into place, and you're picking up on a momentum. For me, it was Brianna Buckmaster. She was actually my first cast interview, and after I had her, it was easier for the other actors to say yes to me. So I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's an amazing feeling. It really, really is.
I think for me, and we've had such great people, like, we've had, like I said, Felicia, we've had Osric, we've had Misha, we've had Jensen, Kim Rhodes, we've had great people, but I think for me, it's a two-way tie, and neither is an actor. It would be Jim Michaels and Guy B. Jim Michaels and Guy B are fantastic to have on. They're really good at getting into the intricacies. They both understand fandom in a way that they know when we're asking a question what we're really asking, and they're very in tune. They're not, they're not like, what did you think when you read the script and you were blocking for this scene? They're not like, oh, well, it's my job. When you ask Jim, like, when you guys were thinking about casting this role, what did you have in mind? He's not just like, well, the girl walked in. They have a process, a very clear process, both of them, and I find them both very, very interesting to talk to, and they're both great storytellers.
Yeah.
Which I think is important when you're interviewing someone, especially, Supernatural is a platform that sometimes not a lot of actors have been in a whole lot of other things, because it is a genre show, and it picks up younger actors sometimes. And I think that being able to tell a story around a question is really important, and both of them are fantastic at that.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Guy B is like in our Hall of Fame podcast, our podcast Hall of Fame. He's been on several times.
Mhm.
Oh.
And I'm with Vinny. He's just awesome. And Jim Michaels, also just fabulous. Love them.
And Jim in general, Jim is just so amazing and supportive of us. He sometimes we don't even know, and he'll tweet that he's listening to us, and we're like, "You are what right now?"
Yeah. Oh my God. Terrifying.
But again, that goes back to what I said, where there's nothing we say on the podcast that we wouldn't say to Jim's face. I mean, Becky has told Jim to his face, "I want Adam back," and he turned around and told her, "No."
Yeah. Like, I don't care.
Poor Adam. Poor Adam. I get crap all the time because I haven't designed an Adam piece yet, and like, yeah, I'll just design him in a cage. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Poor Adam.
I know. I'm sorry, Becky.
Whatever.
I'm wrong, but it's okay.
I know who Becky's gonna say her favorite is.
Well, I bet you're not, because you think I'm going to say Jim Beaver, which, yes, I love when he's on. He actually, the episode, the podcast he was on for Death's Door, I cried to him on the podcast because I was like, you can't die. And so, yeah, because he's my favorite. Jim Beaver's my favorite. But the most fun podcast I think I've ever had is with Gabe Tigerman. That
right. He was great.
So much fun. It was last summer. During the summer we do the That Was Then This Is Now podcast, where we go back and look at past podcasts and past episodes. And Gabe came on to talk about, his episodes, and he was so much fun. And we talked forever about chihuahuas, not supernatural related, but it was about chihuahuas because I have one, and his dog was with him in the car, and his wife, she showed up for a little bit. We could hear their baby. It was like a whole Gabriel Tigerman family thing, and it was just a lot of fun. That's probably my most fun one, but for the two that, there were two that I got really emotional with, which was one was the Jim Beaver during Death's Door, because, like I said, he's my favorite, and I just couldn't take Bobby dying. So I actually did cry on the podcast, and so I was like, oh, I'm making a fool out of myself, but I couldn't help it. And then the second one would be Kim Rhodes when she was on for Alex, Annie, whatever, all those 4 names.
I call it 8-4.
When she adopted her daughter, yeah.
When she was on for that one, we actually talked to her about a commercial she had done that was shown during the Super Bowl, where she was playing a cancer survivor, and I'm a cancer survivor. And we got to talking, and she was talking about, the actor who played her husband and what the husband was going through and all that, and it just hit me so hard to what I went through. And I started crying while talking to her because it resonated so much with me. So I have those 2 really emotional podcasts, but the one that I think was the most fun was Gabe Tigerman.
Oh, it sounds like it. That sounds like fun. And then that brings me back to something else that I think I've mentioned quite often on the show too, is that each of the actors and the crew behind the scenes, everybody, they're just such genuine, authentic people, down-to-earth people that make you fall in love with the show even more. They're a pleasure to talk to, and they put you at ease really quickly too, so it's like, don't you feel after you've spoken just for a few minutes like you're just hanging out having a beer with them?
Mm-hmm.
They have this way of just making you feel really relaxed and calm, and I don't know if it's because we also have the shield between us because we're not face to face in person, so to speak, but so that kind of helps the anxiety a little bit. But in general, like the conversations that I've had through this mystical Google Hangouts thing, it's been I'm just speechless, actually. I can't articulate it. It's just a thing, I can't verbalize it, but it's really a powerful experience to have that connection with these people, and then it just does make you feel even more passionate about the show.
It's true.
Supernatural is one of those rare shows where I don't think we've ever had anyone tell us no in terms of like, will you come on? We've had a few people that have said they can't. Like we can't have writers on, but that's that's a WB protocol thing.
Okay.
So it's not that they didn't want to; they're not allowed to do. If you'll notice, you almost never see a writer.
We did have Adam Glass on before they put the shut down on the writers, so we did have.
Right.
Oh, okay. So you squeezed one in.
We did, and there's we've had a few people that at the last moment have had to cancel, like Mark Shepard had to cancel on us, but we've never had anyone say, what is this? No, thank you. Ugh, never. And I think it's impressive, and I can't think of another fandom that has actors and crew that are willing to connect in this way.
That's true.
The thing is, let's be honest, we're not really offering them anything in return. We're not paying them to come on our show. You're not paying your guests. So it's just, hey, you want to talk to us about what you do? Sure. Really? You do? Okay.
I think a big part of it, too, is that instead of just us just focusing on, say, Jared or Jensen or Misha, it was like, everybody's interesting. Everybody's got stories to tell. Everybody's got something to say. We love having crew on, special effects, directing, everything, every aspect, front of the camera and behind. And I think the Supernatural cast and crew thought, well, that's really cool, because they're a big family. They appreciate all the work that everybody does there. So, hey, a fan podcast that does as well, great. You want a director on? I say we'd love to have writers. We've had special effects, producer, everything, every aspect, and we just really enjoy all of it. So I think that struck a chord with them as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's important to recognize that the show is deeper than the cast. I mean, that's the end result. There's so much more going on behind the scenes to make that happen, and very few people recognize that. So that I'm sure was very, very important to everyone. Jim Michaels and Adam Glass and everybody else behind the scenes too. I remember, I don't know if it was this year or maybe late last year. I remember seeing a tweet from a fan of herself with Jim Michaels, and it read something about Jim Michaels making good on his promise to hang out with me for a little bit in Vancouver. And I remember meeting this fan at a convention. She was totally flipping her lid over Jim Michaels. And apparently she got to talk to him, and he promised, I will hang out with you. And he made good on that promise. And it was just so heartwarming to see that tweet. Like, yeah, I mean, he genuinely cares about the fans, and like you ladies were saying, he knows exactly what the fans want and need, and he can hone in on what works and what doesn't, and so it's very special. I wanted to switch gears a little bit and ask a dopey question that I ask everybody. If you were stranded on an island and you could have only one SPN character as your company, who would it be and why?
Go first, somebody else.
Oh, mine's a tie again. Okay. Sam's my favorite regular character. So I want to say Sam, but the reality is my absolute favorite character of all time is Meg. So
Meg 1.0 or 2.0?
It doesn't matter, actually. I love them both.
Okay.
It is the character himself. that I just love. So whether it's Nikki's portrayal or Rachel's portrayal, I love Meg. Or let's be honest, whether it's Jared's portrayal, I love Meg. Because I think Jared did a fantastic job of being Meg. But
That's cool. I forgot about that.
and so I think, well, and that's why I say I think she's the kind of character that is just so layered that I think on a desert island she could not only defend us, but we would have endless things to talk about. And yeah, I think she'd be good company and good defense.
Awesome.
Susan,
Okay, so
you go next.
No, I really hate to choose. I gotta say, I don't think I can take just one.
That's greedy.
Yeah.
just one.
I know. Okay, baby.
Interesting. That's never been an answer I've gotten.
You could drive a car through the sand, though. How would you drive the Impala through the sand?
She'd be
That would
good.
do a little bit of damage to the engine, no?
She'd
Well,
be really good to live in. You could live in her.
But she's shelter. I could live in her.
But she's leather seats and black paint shelter. You'll bake.
Well, what
The
about
interior is beige.
You would
What
be a
about-
desert island companion error.
what about Baby as Sam? Remember in Changing Panels? Sam was
Oh, that's right. Yeah, or maybe Crowley. You know, he's the junk in my trunk, so maybe Crowley is there as well. Then he could just zap us off the island.
true.
Yeah, and of course, if Baby's missing, then you know Dean will come looking for her. So.
That's right. Yeah.
I see.
No, you have a whole plan here. That scares me.
There's probably snacks in the trunk, you know. There's a cooler, beer, you know.
Beer.
Beer, you know. I'm good.
I guess I was sitting here thinking, I was going between Bobby or Sam because they have a lot of book knowledge and everything, but I think I've decided on the trickster.
Yeah.
The trickster, because he can just zap us off the island if we needed to, and he can bring us in all that good junk food, you know, zap that in, and you know he can basically, you know, just snap his fingers and anything we needed to be right there. So I picked the trickster.
Wow, you three have come up with answers I've never gotten before. The most popular answer I've gotten, and this is also coming from cast members, is they all pick Sheriff Jody.
Really?
Yes. I mean, Ruth Connell said Sheriff Jody too, which was really cool. Brianna said it. I know someone else said it too. Just really, really. So you gave me 3 answers that I've never ever heard before. So yay! Not that Sheriff Jody isn't cool. I love her.
Was the most popular. I thought for sure Dean was going to be the most popular.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was expecting that, especially from Brianna. But no, she said Sheriff Jody. What I wanted to do is actually, and I'm going to throw a trivia question out there. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to go to the chat window for a moment because we have some comments. Neela did mention earlier that she was also into Grey's Anatomy. She wanted to put that out there. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to scroll down. Neela also made a comment about how everybody associated with Supernatural, that they all care, and that's what she loves about Supernatural and the fans, that they all care so much. And Carrie is agreeing with Becky's choice of who to be stuck on an island with.
Yay, Carrie!
Yeah. Okay, so what I wanted to do too is I wanted to throw a trivia question out there to the viewers. And the first person to type in the correct answer in the chat window, and it has to be spelled correctly because I'm a teacher and I get nuts if it's not spelled the right way. The winner will receive a $50 gift certificate to my shop, Eldwin's Fantasy. I should say the name of my own store the right way. Okay, so the question is, a character had said, people don't come here for the truth, they come for good news. Who said that? Which character said that? And you're going to have to dig deep to the back wall for that. People don't come here for the truth. They come here for good news. So the first person to type that into the chat window will receive a $50 gift certificate to my shop. And it's good towards all the jewelry, not the shirts. Those are Shannon's. You got to pay for those. I also wanted to take a minute also to thank you guys as well as all of our viewers for being so supportive of Emily's cause for Finnegan the cat. The last I heard, he is at home and he's recovering, so thank you all for sharing the link for her GoFundMe and for retweeting and for anyone that's donated. I know the last time I checked, they were still about $400 shy of their goal, so if anybody wouldn't mind sharing the link again to help Finnegan get to a full recovery, that would be awesome. And we're still waiting. So yeah, I see. The trick is that only a few people answer the trivia question, and it's always the same people. So I have the same winners every week, and so I'm like, if you haven't won in the past 4 weeks, you're allowed to play. And then I still don't get people answering, so then I say finally, okay, if you won last week, you can still answer. It's okay. So if you want, whatever, if you know the answer, just answer. For reals, it's okay. I love you. I'm gonna give out the prize anyway, and if it's going to.
If I know the answer, can I get the prize?
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, I know Becky knows. I think I know, but I know Becky knows.
I'm sure Becky knows this. You know it, don't you?
I'm pretty sure I know it.
You want it?
If I'm right, yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. All right. You know what? No one's answering. Becky, the floor is yours. What's the answer?
Missouri Mosley?
Damn straight.
Yay!
Becky wins. Go shopping, baby.
Now you can have something to match your Bobby necklace.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you want the Bobby necklace?
I already have the Bobby necklace.
Oh, that's right. That's the one that you got in Vegas. Yeah, so whatever you want. Go shopping.
I will be looking around. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm going to spend the day shopping.
Yeah. Well, O'Neill is saying Becky should get the prize, and she is. Becky's got it. So I'm going to just type that in the window. Becky's got it.
You've made a crappy day much better. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it, and you guys have just made my day too. This has been an incredible conversation. Oh, you're getting lots of yays. People are so happy that. I see. Wow, we've been on over an hour. I am so grateful that you ladies have carved out all this time for me and for our viewers. I'm really I get tongue-tied a lot. I'm overwhelmed. I'm just really, truly grateful for the time and effort that you ladies put forth to hang out with us tonight. And it's been such an incredible conversation. Do you have any last parting words you'd like to share with our viewers?
Well, I want to thank you for having us because
thanks for asking.
This was new territory for us. We're usually on the other side of it, so
awesome.
It was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you. And we do like anybody who watched this or listens to us or follows any of our sites, we appreciate it. And we are real people. We have faces.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't we? I'm going to put your website in the chat window. If you could dictate it to me really quickly.
It is our
website?
the website or our personal?
The Winchester Bros website.
WinchesterBros.com.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is their website, and there's a link there, I believe, to get to your podcasts. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. From our main site, you can get to our Twitter, our Facebook, our podcasts, our completely unused Tumblr. Yeah.
YouTube account.
No.
Oh, you have a YouTube channel?
It's very mildly used, but we do have one.
Every now and
Oh.
then we get video interviews, so we post them there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's great to know. So, is that also? Can we also get that information through WinchesterBros.com?
Yep, it's all on the left
okay.
side of the page.
You can actually, if you go to our YouTube page, you can go back and watch a really old interview from season 7. We have an interview with Misha, and we also have Matt, Rich, and Rob, and we have, forget who, but there's a few. And the one with Misha is a lot of fun.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay, so everybody, I put in the WinchesterBros.com. Go there, and you will be able to patch into their YouTube channel and watch all of these great interviews, and you'll also be able to listen to past podcasts, and they also have a really cool gallery I was checking out earlier. Very, very nice gallery.
There's a separate page with every podcast we've ever done linked.
Oh.
So you can go back and listen to that 10-Inch Hero podcast, or you can listen to the most recent ones, like with Tim Amundsen and everybody like that. So Gabe Tigerman, Becky mentioned.
Yeah, I definitely want to go back and listen to those because you've really piqued my interest. I'd love to hear those now. So, that's I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be my downtime. My playtime is going to be all over your podcasts.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you, and thank you for allowing me to interview you. So I'm your first interview, really?
Yeah.
Wow! So exciting. I'm honored. Okay, well, I want to thank all of you ladies, and thank you, audience, for being there, hanging in, and getting us through those technical glitches we had in the beginning. And Vinny, Susan, Becky, thank you so much. This has been a really, really great time. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I will see you on Twitter, and we'll be in touch because I'm going to be turning the tables on you again soon.
It sounds good. This has been
the first of. And don't forget to go shopping, Becky.
Oh, I'm not going to forget.
Awesome. Oh, we're getting thank yous in the chat window now too. So the audience is very happy. Thank you all, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night, ladies.
It was fun.
Night, Jody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.